What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Natural Hair and True Crime. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jataia, and here on my channel I give you guys natural hair content. I do wig reviews, and I also discuss true crime cases while doing my natural hair. So if you are interested in any of those that I just listed, I do recommend that you go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. That way you can always be updated while I'm posting new videos. Now y'all, so first of all, I just want to say that I love you guys so very much. So much. But no, seriously. And I hope you guys are having a really good week. I had a COVID scare, I guess you can say. Well, not like a COVID scare because I haven't had any symptoms, but I have been like in contact with people who have. So of course, yeah, your girl, I had to, fortunately, I was able to take an at-home test, and fortunately it came back negative. So your girl does not have COVID. Yes. And yeah, that's pretty much all for me. Just been working, making sure I try to get these videos out for you guys. But yeah, how's y'all's week going so far? I hope it is going really good. Hope it's going successful and y'all are able to make the most of it. But yeah, so first of all, I just want to let you know, I know I'm looking rough, but yeah, hair is crazy. And another thing before I move on, just want to let you guys know, so my background is currently under construction, which means I'm trying to figure out what I want my background to be next because I haven't quite figured that out. So that is why I have been recording in my living room, because yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for my next background. Like, I don't know if I want to do a tapestry or like legit like do something with my background yet. So I don't know. But yeah, if you guys are wondering why I'm in my living room, that's why. Filming room is currently under construction. Yeah, so on to today's video. Now, in today's video, I will be discussing the case of Michele Kalina. Now, some of you may have heard of this case. Technically, it was dated back all the way to 1996, I guess you can say, but she wasn't actually like legit caught until 2010. So I guess you could say the case is definitely in 2010. Just a quick background on the case. You have this woman who's married and actually ends up having an affair and then having 5 kids within this affair. And yeah, so she ends up having all 5 of these kids, pretty much, you know, killing them, I guess you can say, and sticking their bodies in a closet. And literally from 1996 to 2010, she has these baby remains in her closet. Yeah, so that is the story I'm going to be discussing today. So if you are definitely interested in hearing about this case, which you definitely should be after what I just said, because Lord, oh my God. But yeah, if you are interested in hearing about this case and listening to it, then definitely go ahead and stay tuned, because baby, yeah, this is a case today. It's a case. But yeah, anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time talking. Once again, I love you guys, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. Okay, you guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. But before I start, I already know I'm looking retarded AF. Like, I don't even know why I got on here looking like this, but I mean, it is what it is. Basically, yeah, I've had my hair in flat twists for a good 2 weeks now, probably. When I actually ended up doing flat twists in my previous video, by the way, if you have not seen that video, make sure that you go ahead and see it. I will make sure to link it in the description box as well as put it up here. And yeah, so this is basically the aftermath of this, like 2 weeks later. And yeah, I know it, I'm looking rough. So my plan is to go ahead and take these down, see how it looks, although I feel like it's not going to be really a style because my hair is, I don't know, I just feel like it's not going to turn out like a good twist out, especially because my hair is dry. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't moisturized my hair every single day. I moisturize at least, I try to 2 times out the week. I know that I should have done that more. But yeah, for the main part, I've just been slapping a wig on my head and loving it and just going about my business. But yeah, I'm just basically going to be taking these down. I'm gonna see how my hair looks. If it looks good, cool, I might wear it for a few days. If not, probably gonna put a puff ball on my head and call it a day until I'm ready to go ahead and wash it and do my wash day routine. So just warning y'all, this is why I'm looking crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it so this video won't be so long. So today's case is taking place in the location of Reading, Pennsylvania. And we're gonna go ahead and discuss the case of Michele Kalina. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and forewarn y'all now. Of course, it's not a lot of background information. As far as Michele's childhood, what we do know is all I can see is she was born in 1966. I wasn't necessarily able to find her exact birth date, but I do know she was born in 1966 apparently. And as far as what I do know about her childhood, it did state that Kalina actually endured sexual and verbal abuse. Now, I'm assuming, because it doesn't really specify from who, so I don't know if it was like from her mother, her father, brother, etc. I'm assuming it is from immediate family. That's what I'm assuming, but I could be wrong. Please feel free to go ahead and, correct me in the comments. But yeah, so she did endure sexual and verbal abuse as she was a child. So going a little forward, due to her, I'm assuming, being verbally and sexually abused, she did end up suffering from PTSD. Pretty sure y'all know what PTSD is, but if not, it's post-traumatic stress disorder. And she did also end up suffering from, I want to say, a few other different mental issues. Now, fasting forward, as she got older, Michele actually ended up going to college. So I believe it says she did about 3 semesters in college. And then actually in 1986, she ended up meeting her husband, whose name was Jeffrey Kalina. Michele was 19 at the time. And like I said, in 1986, she ended up getting married to Jeffrey. Now, after this, Jeffrey and Michele ended up having 2 kids together. They had a boy and a girl, and the first child being a boy by the name of Andrew. Now, Andrew ended up being born with cerebral palsy. Y'all, I have such a difficult time saying this. Cerebral palsy. God, I do not know why that is so hard to say. But anyway, I think I got it. Cerebral palsy. Yeah. So he had cerebral palsy and also had other developmental issues as he was born. So with their son having issues, Michele just ended up being a stay-at-home mom for the time being and taking care of Andrew. Now, while this is going on, Jeffrey is actually at work. But actually, I want to say a little bit later on, Jeffrey ended up being the caretaker for Andrew due to him I think he got fired from work, I want to say. So he just ended up staying home and taking care of Andrew while Michele ended up going out and getting a job. So from the time Andrew was born till basically 2000, Jeffrey stayed home and took care of him. And Michele ended up being the one working hours and kind of working overtime to make sure the family was taken care of. Michele ended up working around 70 hours a week just to make sure the family was supported. After they had Andrew, they ended up having a girl, and her name was Elizabeth, and she was born in 1991. So fasting forward in 2000, Andrew was actually, I want to say, 13 at the time, and unfortunately he does pass away from natural causes. So now it's just Elizabeth, Michele, and Jeffrey. So now the family dynamic is Michele being the worker and the provider, and Jeffrey being the stay-at-home dad. Now I want to say it also states that Jeffrey, now it doesn't say what type of disability he had, but he was disabled. And I don't know if this was his majority of his life or after a certain accident or what happened, but it really doesn't state that. But what it does say that he was a disabled stay-at-home dad, and before Andrew died, he was the caretaker of Andrew. Now, so like I said, that's kind of the family dynamic. He's the stay-at-home dad, and Michele, she's the mother, but she's the provider. I don't know if this is the reason for this is because of the disability, or if Jeffrey always had the disability. But Jeffrey and Michele stopped being intimate in 1992. And after that, never just had any intimate relationship. So even though they were married for this amount of time, for 25 years, from literally, you might as well say from 1992 to, present, they hadn't had any type of intimacy. And like I said, I don't know if this is from, the disability that it states that Jeffrey has or not, or if it was other reasons. So Michele is actually a home health aide, and she ends up actually having an affair with one of her co-workers. So I'm gonna just go ahead and let y'all guys know now. We don't know who this co-worker is, as they've tried to, of course, interview them. contact them to tell their side of the story. Of course, this person has basically like rejected to talk and do interviews, which I guess I can't blame them. Now, y'all, so this affair actually started in 1996, and I want to say it lasted until 2010. Starting in 1996, the affair started. Now, fasting forward in 2003, Michele actually ended up getting pregnant. But when she got pregnant, her husband was actually suspicious of her being pregnant. You know, she kind of looked like it, but she told him that, oh, she just had gained weight and she actually had some cyst on her fallopian tube. So yeah, so somehow she was able to convince her husband that she wasn't pregnant, and also her side piece that she wasn't pregnant. Mind you, of course, since she's not having sex with her husband and she's having an affair with the side piece, obviously it's the side piece's baby. Somehow she didn't let the child's father know, which I have no clue why not, but she didn't let him know, and she actually ended up having the baby in the hospital. I want to say it was in St. Joseph's Hospital, and she actually ended up giving that baby up for adoption. Now, I want to say it was a baby girl. She is full-blown having an affair, then got pregnant, and then had her side piece's baby. And yeah, so you would think after having this child and giving up for adoption, you know, she would kind of like chill out, I guess you can say. But I mean, then again, she literally honestly just got away with it. So I want to say, I guess between her starting the affair into the ending, definitely between those years, probably the early years of them beginning their affair, Michele would end up going to have 5 more babies by her side piece. And to make things even crazier, she was able to hide each pregnancy from her daughter, her husband, and also her side piece. Now, y'all, I already know y'all are like, how? Because that's that's what I'm thinking. How? What? But okay, just bear with me. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and explain about how she did it. So like I said before, the first time her husband suspected her of being pregnant and he kind of confronted her, I'm assuming she, you know, stated that she just has gained weight, and of course her fallopian tubes had cysts on it. Okay, so apparently that was her excuse for, I'm assuming, the rest of the 5 other pregnancies, because she was pregnant a total of 6 times. And like say, one she had in the hospital, one she gave birth to in the hospital, gave them away. And then the 5 other ones, yeah, so she apparently just told them that, you know, oh, I just have some cyst on my fallopian tube. And I'm assuming the husband and the side piece are just like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. So the second time Michele ended up getting pregnant, she carried the baby full time. Well, let me just correct myself. She carried, I'm assuming, every baby full term, or at least from 32 weeks to like full term, and she gave birth to every single baby. Now it states that I want to say 4 out of the 5 babies, they ended up being stillborn. But let me go ahead and backtrack. So after the first baby she had, so with her second pregnancy, she basically did the same thing. She hid the pregnancy, you know, lied and said it was just, you know, cyst. So she ended up having the baby. Now this time she did not go to the hospital, and I want to say it said that she actually ended up having her baby in the bathtub. So after giving birth to the baby, I believe the baby was stillborn, according to her. After the baby was born, she ended up wrapping the baby in a blanket and storing the remains of the child in either, I want to say, I don't know if it was a cooler, sticking it in, it was a closet, which I'll get to in a minute. But anyway, she stuck the remains in this closet, like wrapped it up real good and stuck it in this closet. So she did that, actually ended up doing this with the 4 other babies that she ended up having. So a total of 4 more times she was pregnant, was able to hide the pregnancies. God, I don't know how. And each time she would wrap the baby up in a blanket and either put them in a cardboard, a cooler, or something. And with one of the babies, it does state that she, and I don't know if it's the same baby as she said was born alive, but she claimed that she might have wrapped the baby too tight and he wasn't able to breathe, so he ended up passing away that way. But yeah, so one of the babies, we know she ended up taking some cement and like putting cement all over the body, covering the body with cement, and placing it, I guess, in a box or a cooler or something, and placing it in this closet. And yeah, so literally with all 5 of the bodies, she either had in a cardboard box or a tub, cooler or something placed in this closet. So now, so she has these bodies, and I know y'all think, okay, how in the world is she hiding this from her family? So she literally told her husband and her daughter to not ever go into that closet. I don't care for anything. And somehow Elizabeth and Jeffrey agreed, and they never went into the closet until later on. So we're fasting forward to 2010. Basically, life is normal, I guess you can say, for the Kalinas. Michele is still basically the only one that's working in the house. Jeffrey, he's disabled, so he's at home. And Elizabeth is a teenager now. Well, of course, Michele is still having this affair with the same person, but luckily she has not gotten pregnant again and doing what she does. So I guess you would think, I guess it's going as it should according to Michele. Now, like I said before, Michele basically told her family to never ever go into the closet, of course, where the remains of the babies are. But on July 29th of 2010, Elizabeth made a decision that it was time to kind of do some cleaning up. She actually wanted to do some cleaning out in the forbidden closet. Elizabeth goes into this closet, and upon trying to clean it out, she finds the remains of these babies. Elizabeth, she sees this and she immediately goes and finds her dad. And she tells her dad of what she just discovered. So Jeffrey goes into the closet and makes the same discovery. So both Elizabeth and Jeffrey just shocked and just don't know what to do. So the only thing they do though is call the cops. So, and y'all, wait till you hear this shit. So the cops arrive to the house, they investigate, they go in the closet, and they look and see and discover what Jeffrey and Elizabeth just discovered. And y'all, tell me why. Do y'all know these cops, they go in the closet, right? They see the different cardboard, like different boxes, the tubs and coolers. So they see all of this, they look in it, and they tell Jeffrey and Elizabeth that these were not human remains. Yeah, I swear these damn cops be pissing me the hell off. So yeah, they tell them that these are not remains, and they basically like brush it off and leave. Yeah, just like that. So Elizabeth's like, okay, well, I guess they're not what I thought they were. At the time, I want to say she only discovered 2 of the remains, so she ends up like taking them, put them in a garbage bag, and just throwing them away. Then, as she goes back to try to finish cleaning out the closet, she notices that there are 3 more baby remains, and one of them happens to be in cement, like the one cemented down. And yeah, so she's just like, okay, there's no way that these are not human remains. So I want to say she calls them again, but it states that the cops actually didn't come back out to investigate the apartment again until like a week later. So we fast forward a week later, the cops do come back to investigate again, and that's when they find, of course, the bins. So that's where they end up, of course, finding the rest of the remains, and they also end up finding a letter. Now in this letter, it is a letter from Michele to her co-worker / side piece, basically stating that she had a baby and she gave it up for adoption. Now this letter was said to be like dated back to 7 years ago. So they end up taking the remains and stuff to be investigated. So finally they're able to investigate. I think they actually did an x-ray on the cement to find, like, to notice it was like a mass in the center, and fortunately they were able to identify that these were human remains and baby remains at that, infant remains. August 8th of 2010, after basically investigating and confirming that these were remains, they go ahead and arrest Michele. Now during this time, Michele was arrested for 2 counts of abuse, child abuse, and her bail was actually set at $5 million. Of course, I guess, you know, interviewing her and talking with her, they discovered that Michele had ended up having 6 babies with this co-worker. Stated, of course, her affair lasted like 14 years. That's somewhere in between. Now they say, well, I guess 1996 to 2000. From 1996 to 2000, which don't make sense because I'm like, I know they said the first baby she had was in 2003. So I don't know. It's kind of confusing. But like, you know, me doing my research, that's what it states. But you know, I guess, I mean, that timeline doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah. So they said, according to, you know, where I read it, it was from like 1996 to 2000 is when she had these babies. And like I said previously, you know, she was able to get away with it and not be suspected of being pregnant is because she told everybody that she just had some cyst on her fallopian tube. Fasting forward, Michele actually ends up talking to a psychiatrist and being, I guess you could well, not interview, but you know, she ends up talking to a psychiatrist about what went down. And it states, according to the psychiatrist, that she said that she doesn't hardly remember even being pregnant or remember having the babies or what she done to the babies. And it stated that when she explained this, that she didn't have any emotion towards the babies. And she kind of discussed the babies as, you know, she referred to them as fetuses, so kind of like detaching herself from them. The psychiatrist also discovered that Michele was an alcoholic, and she was actually, during all of these pregnancies, she was drinking, and actually I want to say when she was having the baby, she was, you know, drinking as well. So that obviously did not help. Keep in mind, like I said, she had already had mental issues, one being PTSD and what she endured as a child. So, you know, her being alcoholic, having mental issues, I guess it didn't help when she was doing all of this. And so eventually the psychiatrist asked why she decided to keep the remains in her closet. And she simply answered with, she wanted to keep them to remind her of her shame of having an affair. So fasting forward, on October 26th of 2010, Michele was charged with 5 murders. Actually, like her rap sheet, according to what she was charged with, was like long as hell, I'm not gonna lie. She was charged with homicide, aggravated assault, endangering welfare of children, reckless endangerment, and abuse of corpse. Yeah, that's a lot. I'm like, Jesus. Even though she ended up like talking to the psychiatrist, and I don't understand why with some people, or with like some people who are caught, they do this. She ended up pleading not guilty at first. Don't know why. It just, I really don't know if they thought that they had a chance. But yeah, so she ended up, like, first she pleaded not guilty. Then actually, while during the date and trial, she like switched it up and decided to plead guilty. And by the way, her trial ended up being December 14th of 2010. So yeah, she's in trial, and the jury, the court, basically they decide that she is guilty, obviously. And she actually is sentenced to 20 to 40 years in prison. While the trial is going on, her husband and her daughter is there, and they are actually supporting her and are not mad at her. And according to Elizabeth, you know, she still loves her mother, and she will still write her, you know, keep in contact with her. So, and as far as her husband Jeffrey, he basically says the same thing, and he said that he actually wants to stay married to Michele. And if she would have just told him about the children, he would have actually helped raise them. So yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, so he he was not upset about the affair, and he still loves her, and yeah, he wants to continue to be married to her. Now, as for her lover, like I said before, we do not know who he is. He did not want to comment on the matter, and yeah, he didn't want nothing to do with it. Like, I mean, he is ghost. I think they tried to set up interviews with him, tried to email him, contact him. He's not returning calls, no emails, nothing. He wants nothing to do with it. So that's pretty much it as far as the case. Now I'm gonna go ahead, of course, and give y'all my thoughts and questions, because y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all are definitely thinking what I'm thinking on some of this. Like, how in the world was this even possible? At first, when I first read about this case, and it was like she kept the babies in the closet. I'm just like, how does the closet not have a scent coming from it? I mean, you storing like not one but 5 bodies in this closet. But then I guess because it states that she poured cement in there, so I'm assuming, of course, they might have masked the scent. But she didn't do it with all of them, so I don't know, maybe she figured out other ways to mask the scent. But even still, she couldn't have masked it too much if the daughter wanted to clean out the closet, even after her telling her to don't go in the closet and stay out of the closet. So I don't know. My thing is, as far as her being married to Jeffrey, but she's having an affair with this coworker and literally had 5 children with. So now mind you, I can completely understand. Well, I'm not gonna say I understand, but you haven't had any sexual relationship with your husband or wife for a very long time. It doesn't surprise me when she or like anybody else who would be in this situation, they seek it elsewhere. So I'm not condoning it, not saying that it's justifiable, like it's legit. Like, I'm just saying it doesn't surprise me. My thing is, well, I mean, why not just get a divorce? Maybe she just loved them and she just needed that elsewhere. As far as keeping the kids, having the children, killing them or whatever, because I mean, it states she at least killed one of them. One of them was born full term, and she had them, and they weren't stillborn. So I mean, I don't understand why not do what she did with the first baby. Like, she had the baby and literally just gave it up for adoption. I feel like that would have been better than killing them and storing them in your closet. Like, what? And as far as this lie about, I don't know how in the world you were able to lie about your pregnancy. There is absolutely no way. I mean, I don't know. Unless she wasn't like one where like she was very big. I'm just trying to figure out how in the world you mistake a cis with being pregnant. And even then, like, how, like, they didn't think, okay, 1 minute she's, her stomach's normal, or, normal as it can be. Then the next minute it's back big. So what? Like, I don't know if she was telling them like, oh, she was getting them removed, and they kept coming back. Like, I'm trying to figure out how she's able to tell this lie and keep it up. Or better yet, not like, how is she even, I don't know, how in the world is she able to keep it from the lover? I mean, if, they're doing it, I'm pretty sure he's seeing her, not every night, but he sees her body. How do you not think she's pregnant? Or you just didn't care and you just went with the lie because, I mean, you didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, that sounds more legit. But the fact that she felt like she needed to keep the babies in the closet and to keep them to remind her of her shame of having an affair, but yet you're still having the affair, like, that makes absolutely no sense. And I just want to say, I mean, kudos to the husband. He's a real one. He's a good one. Because there's no way, me personally, I would sit up there and still be with her and she's in jail I mean, not jail. She's in prison. And just to have the forgiving heart that he has, talking about he would have helped raise the kids. Who? I'm sorry. Who? Man, ain't no way. There is no way. I'm sorry. Nah. Nope. Yeah, this just really saddens my heart because, I mean, honestly, all of those babies could have been in a loving adoptive home right now. Like, I honestly do not see, like, I just don't understand the point. You had one baby and you gave it up for adoption. Why couldn't you just have done it for the other babies? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It just makes no sense. But of course, I definitely feel like this goes back to, for one, her being an alcoholic and her already having mental issues. I just, she was going to tell the lover, but I guess she backed out, or I don't know. Maybe she realized, I don't know, maybe they had a conversation and he didn't want kids. But I mean, if that be the case, you should have wrapped it up. So, and also, as I was reading now, it does state in one article, now I don't know, they does say that they don't know if this is true or not, but she claims that, you know, her partner at one point in time refused to use condoms. So, yeah, it's kind of, this is story, it doesn't make sense, honestly. It just really does not make sense. Okay, my bad, y'all. I went ahead and just finished taking down my hair off camera, but obviously, as y'all can see, my hair is frizzy as hell, so I'm probably gonna have to put this up in a puff and until I am ready to wash it. I figured it was gonna do this, but yeah. But anyway, so yeah, back to the case, y'all. Like, yeah, when I read this case, I was just like, what? I didn't think a case could get more crazy. Like, I'm talking about down from the dang pregnancies till the police officers. That's another dang thing. Like, as far as the dang police officers, I mean, at this point, what do we have them for? Because it's one thing, okay, cool, you didn't think it was humans remain, but something in you didn't say this woman got animal remains or whatever type of remains stored in her closet, locked away in her closet, and y'all still didn't find that weird. Or better yet, when they told you, like, I don't care. I feel like as an officer, it is their duty. Like I feel like this should be a law. If it is not, that if somebody calls you to their home stating that they found human remains, you go and you see, oh, there's some type of remains, even if you don't think yourself personally, even if you don't think that it's human remains, you still need to take it in for investigation. It was freaking remains in a closet. Who has remains of any sort in a closet? Like, I swear, I'd be like, at this point, we doomed. Now, y'all, mind you, this case was back in 2010, but still, how in the world, yeah, that just baffled me. When I read that part, I'm just like, huh? There's no way. Oh, nah. They should have been fired. Because what? I mean, the thing is, you didn't even think either they was just being lazy or they was just downright stupid. Because there's no way you're going to leave after witnessing something like that. You're going to take it in for investigation, even if you don't think it is. Because, I mean, that's your job. And you going to, yeah. That kind of like, yeah, that threw me off. But yeah, comment down below what y'all think. Like, shouldn't they have took the remains in the first time to see? Yeah. But yeah, this definitely is it's a crazy case. I'm gonna say that. It's Like it's like super weird. Like it's super confusing. But then when you think about it, Michele did have mental issues. So of course, anytime you have a person with mental issues of some sort, it's not gonna make sense. Not majority of the time. But yeah, so I definitely go ahead and tell me what y'all think about this case. Would y'all be as forgiving as Elizabeth and Jeffrey, especially Jeffrey? What do y'all think about the police and them leaving the first time without investigating during a thorough investigation? Because honestly, they couldn't have done a good investigation the first time to not think. I mean, they had remains. Do you guys feel because Michele was dealing with, you know, mental disorders, PTSD, and drinking, it was a strong factor in her deciding to keep her kids in the closet? What do y'all think about that? And just in general, what are y'all thoughts on this case? Like when you first, because I mean, even though this case is years old, like over 10 years old, back in 2010, when you first heard of this case, when you first read about it, what did y'all think? Like, what was y'all thoughts on it for real? I definitely want to know. But yeah, so that's pretty much all for this video today. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I try not to make these too long, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, as y'all can see, once again, the hair, I was expecting this. It's just dry and it's just ready to be washed. So I will get to that eventually, but I ain't gonna lie, you know, with work and, you know, the pandemic, basically having another pandemic all over again. Yeah, it's been kicking my tail, so I'm trying to make do, but it is what it is. So thank you so much for watching this video and taking the time to hear my thoughts on this case. Once again, definitely let me know y'all's comments. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments, you guys. I'm serious. I want to know. So I am actually gonna go ahead and get ready and go to this store. I love you guys so very much, and I am very grateful for you guys. But yeah, I love you, and I will see you in my next video.